stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. To those guests who've just joined us, welcome. Our next stop is the Magic Kingdom. For those of you standing, please hold on to the handrails throughout our journey and stay clear of the door. Stay clear of the door. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching our station at the entrance to Main Street, USA.
Welcome aboard the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. This is Justin Monorail, and this is episode number 273 of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. Today's Monday, October 20th, 2025, and today you've just got me. It's me and you. It's just us, the two of us, and we're having a conversation about Walt Disney World. Yes, it's true. I apologize in advance. But you know what? I think we're going to have a great time. We're going to talk about some Walt Disney World news, and we're going to have a great time doing it. But before we get to that, I wanted to share that today is World Statistics Day. Yeah, October 20th, according to my Google Calendar, it tells me is World Statistics Day. And in the spirit of World Statistics Day, I thought we would celebrate the way everyone should by talking about some statistics. I wondered how many times I would be able to say statistics without stuttering over or, stumbling over some of those syllables. Statistics. Statistics. We're going to talk about some Walt Disney World statistics. I thought that would be fun. So this is an article that was shared on the Disney Parks blog back in March of 2025. So yes, it is a few months old, but at least it's this year. And it's an article all about fun facts from the parks. I'm going to pull some of these out that actually include statistics that I think might be fun or interesting. And we're going to talk about them. And then we're going to get into Walt Disney World news. But let's start by taking a look at these statistics. All right, we're going to start at the Magic Kingdom. Here are some interesting statistics about the Magic Kingdom. Towering over Magic Kingdom, Cinderella Castle stands 189 feet tall. Yeah, that's around the height of most of the tallest things around Walt Disney World. And the reason for that, as I've heard in the past, is because if you cross over a certain height in Florida, you actually have to have beacons on top of the buildings so that planes don't fly into them. And I'm pretty sure that height is 200 feet. So usually everything around Walt Disney World, I don't think anything is over 200 feet, as far as I know. Maybe some of the hotels, I don't know. But at least in the parks, nothing's over 200 feet because they don't want to put those beacons on top of them. I think that's true. And I'm saying it on a podcast, so it must be true. And you can take it to the bank. Okay, here's another statistic. There are 13 lanterns in the Liberty Tree Square Liberty Tree, and each one of those lanterns represents one of the original 13 colonies. That's pretty fun. That's a nice fun fact and a statistic. There's another one here. This isn't really a statistic, but it's a fun fact about, and it's got numbers in it, so we're going to pretend it's a statistic. The Walt Disney World Railroad operates 4 steam-powered trains originally built between 1916 and 1928, meaning some of them are more than 100 years old. Is age a statistic? I think so. I think it is, but, you decide. All right, over to Epcot. The icon of Epcot, Spaceship Earth. The Epcot Ball. Landon's Girl Spaceship Earth is a geodesic sphere standing 180 feet tall. Again, under 200 feet. It's made up of 2 spherical structures with a ride track encased inside. On the outside, you can find many more than one, 11,324 aluminum triangle tiles catching the attention of guests as soon as they walk into the park. 11,324. That's a lot of power washing that you got to do when it starts to get kind of moldy on the outside, which can happen. It is very humid in Florida. Things get moldy around here. Here's a fun fact about the Flower and Garden Festival. The Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival is one of the longest flower and garden festivals in the United States. It features more than 1.5 miles of stunning gardens throughout the park and 70 individual topiaries. Have you seen them all? I feel like I probably have. They add to them occasionally. They change them out. 70 individual topiaries. Next time you go to the International Flower and Garden Festival, I want you to take pictures of each and every one of them, number them 1 to 70. Let's do alphabetical order and then number them 1 to 70 and tag me in all those pictures on Instagram, please. Thank you very much. And then the last Epcot fact is World Showcase features 11 country pavilions located along World Showcase Lagoon at 40 acres large. World Showcase Lagoon is the largest body of water at any Disney park around the world. I mean, I believe it. It takes out, that's a huge chunk of land or water, no land. It's a huge lack of land in the middle of the park. And, they tried to build some giant portal in the middle of it at one point. And luckily we all rioted. I submitted many guest surveys and complained until eventually they got rid of the Stargate in the taco barges. But now we still have, I got to tell you, they're playing a little fast and loose nowadays with Luminous. They've got these barges that can move in and out, and I feel like they stay out there most of the day. They're just waiting to see when we'll complain. And you know what? I'm not going to do it anymore. I don't even care. I want to fill in the lagoon. No, don't fill in the lagoon. I don't want to do that. But it's aggravating that they mess up the sight lines with these fountains. I want to talk about the 11 country pavilions. Do you think I can name them off the top of my head without missing one? I'm going to do it right now. Why not? Let's see if I can do it. All right, we'll start with, we got Mexico. I know we've got Mexico over there. You leave Mexico, you go into Norway. You leave Norway, you go into China. You leave China, you go across the bridge, and then there's that outpost. And then you go through the outpost into Germany. You leave Germany and you go into America. You leave America, you go into Japan. You leave Japan, you go... Oh, I missed Italy. Shoot. Where's Italy? Well, we're going to say Italy. Dang it, I messed it up already. I think it's Germany into Italy. Crap. Okay, Japan. Then you got Morocco. Then you have France. Then you have Canada, and then the UK, and then Canada. I named them all, right? I just didn't do it in order. Italy comes after Germany, and then it's America. Italy into America. And then Japan. And then you leave Japan and you go into Morocco. You leave Morocco, you go into France. You leave France, you go into the Canada. You leave Canada. No. UK and then Canada. What the heck is happening to my brain? See, this is what happens when you get old. You don't remember things like you used to. And things that you say that you can do off the top of your head without any problem, you probably should not do that, because then you just prove to everyone that you're not as capable as you used to be. Okay, so I was right. So it's, I just pulled it up. I just now Googled. I didn't do this before. Clearly I messed up. Mexico, Norway, China, Germany, Italy, America, Japan, Morocco, France, UK, Canada. Guys, I did it. I just messed up the first time because I forgot Italy. Anyways, don't forget about Italy. Who in the world would ever forget about Italy? All right, let's go on to Hollywood Studios. We're going to do some fun facts about Hollywood Studios. Okay, and so I don't know that I would believe this if it wasn't from the Disney Parks blog, but I believe it, I guess. Since 2017, Walt Disney World has debuted a new attraction every year at 3 themed lands. At 14 acres. What? And, sorry. I can't read. That's the problem. I never learned to read. Okay. Since 2017, Walt Disney World has debuted a new attraction every year and 3 themed lands. At 14 acres, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disney's Hollywood Studios is the biggest of them all and is the largest single themed expansion in a Disney park ever. Will Villains Land be more than 14 acres? I think so. So that'll be the biggest one. The Millennium Falcon docked at Black Spire Outpost, Spaceport, in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge measures more than 100 feet long. Okay, remember what I said earlier about the 200-foot height limit? At 199 feet tall, it would take 770 stacked Nestle Mickey's Premium Bars to reach the top of the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. If you took the more than 3.7 million premium bars served annually at Walt Disney World, that's a lot of ice cream. It would stretch to the top of the Tower of Terror 4,892 times. Well, now we all know that. This is not a statistic, but so keep your eye out for. Keep your eye out the next time you visit the Tower of Terror. Every clock in the building is stopped at 8:05, which is the exact time on Halloween night in 1939 lightning struck the hotel, causing 5 unfortunate souls. It's interesting they chose those words to mysteriously disappear. And then the next one's not a statistic, so we're going to skip it. On to the best park, Disney's Animal Kingdom, which opened, of course, as we all know, on Earth Day, April 22nd. 1998. The park's massive Tree of Life icon stands 145 feet tall, still not over 200 feet, and features 337 sculpted animals in the trunk. Have you counted them all? Have you seen them all? Okay, well, the next time you go to the Tree of Life, the next time you're in the Animal Kingdom and you're thinking about how nice and cool it is because there's so much shade there, unlike Hollywood Studios, make sure that you count all 337 animals, take pictures of each one, number them, make sure the list is alphabetical, and then tag me on Instagram, and you'll win a big prize. Okay, here's the next one. What if I told you that Walt Disney World is home to the tallest, quote-unquote, mountain in Florida? Inspired by the icy peaks of the Himalayan mountains in Asia, the Expedition Everest Mountain is considered the tallest, quote-unquote, mountain in Florida at almost 200 feet tall. I think it's literally 199.5 feet, and that's because of that 200-foot thing. At 110 acres, Kilimanjaro Safaris is big enough to house 83 football fields. That's a lot of football fields, and you know what? I say, let's see if the animals want to play some football. Are you ready for some football? Has anyone ever asked any of the animals on Kilimanjaro Safari if they're ready for some football? I challenge you to do so the next time you ride. Okay, and then this, according to this bullet, this is a wild one for you. The amount of popcorn served annually at Walt Disney World adds up to the weight of 1,557 African elephants at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Well, you know, popcorn is notoriously a light snack. That is a lot of popcorn. It's Pop Secret. Did you know that? Pop Secret popcorn at Walt Disney World. That's not a statistic either. Okay. These are Disney Resort statistics. If you wanted to stay in every room at the Disney Resort, it would take you decades. There are nearly 29,000 resort rooms at Walt Disney World with options for nearly every budget. It turned into an ad. Staying in one room per night would take you more than 79 years. Well, you know what? I accept. Disney, I accept. If you'd like me to do this, put me to the task. I promise you I will stay in every room one a night for the next 79 years. And they're still building rooms. You know, we've got that Reflections Resort that's going to be opening soon over by the Wilderness Lodge. So that'll be exciting. So it'll take even longer at that point. Here's an interesting one. From bed sheets, pillowcases, towels, and more, our resort cleans tons of laundry, literally. Walt Disney World is home to one of the largest laundry facilities in North America. More than 100 million pounds of linen is washed, dried, and sorted here every year. For families with stinky teens, they might rival that amount in one household. Even cooler, these facilities also clean laundry for Give Kids the World Village, a Florida nonprofit that Disney teams up with to help grant wishes for children facing critical illnesses and their families. I did not know that. That's awesome that they do that for Give Kids the World. That's very, very cool. Disney's All-Star Sports has a tennis racket that's large enough to cover an entire tennis court. It's 51 feet tall. The resort also has a massive tennis can sculpture, which can... Why do they call it tennis ball can? Tennis can sculpture, which can hold nearly 9.5 million regulation-sized tennis balls. Have they ever tried to do that? They should. Disney's Polynesian Village Resort hands out more than 1,300 leis to guests every year. Ooh, handing out those leis fast and loose. The Big Blue Pool at Disney's Art of Animation Resort holds 310,000 gallons of water and is the largest resort pool at Walt Disney World. That's truly a big blue pool. And it's a nice one. If you've ever gotten the chance to lounge around the big blue pool. It's great. Oh, we've got transportation facts. This goes on for a long time. Let's see. What statistics do we have here? Statistics. I can still say it. We have 4 modes of free transportation at Walt Disney World, including our bus fleet of more than 400 buses. 65 million guests travel on these buses annually, with more than 10,000 trips made every day. That's 24 million miles driven each year. Each Disney monorail can hold about 300 guests per train. That's very interesting because that's about how many people listen to the show every week. Can you guess how many polka dots are on each minivan? I'm giving you a second. You have to try to guess now. Yell it out. I don't know if you're at work, if you're on a bus heading to the Magic Kingdom right now, yell it out loud. How many polka dots are on the minivan? Oh, somebody said it. It's 95. You got it. 95. Very good. Very proud of you. All right. Each parking tram at Walt Disney World is 171 feet long, and there are 8 different colors across the 4 theme parks. I've told you this before, but one free, fun souvenir that you can get is you can talk to transportation cast members and ask them if they have trading cards, and the cards that they have, if they have them, are related to whatever transportation you're riding. So if you ask a Disney tram cast member if they've got trading cards, they might have parking tram trading cards, and they come in the different colors of the trams. And the same is true about the monorails. You can get them for the buses. You can get them for the boats. It's very cool. So I highly recommend doing that. It's a fun, free thing that you can get. And they have like fun Disney World facts on the back of the cards and things. So that's very cool too. And then one of the coolest parts of a visit to Walt Disney World is traveling by air. The Disney Skyliner has traveled more than 1 million miles since its launch in 2019. 1 million miles since 2019. Connecting guests via gondola to 2 theme parks and 4 resorts. Perfect for nearly every family size and budget. I highly recommend a Skyliner trip. It's something you can do without a ticket to the park. It's very fun. So take advantage of that if you can. The Skyliner is a very, very good experience. And let's see, Disney by the numbers, nearly 30,000 acres. That's twice the size of the island of Manhattan. Anything else? 80,000 cast members. So that's a lot of thanks that I expect you all to hand out, because I want you to thank every single one of those cast members. 115 plus attractions, 40 plus entertainment offerings, 50 plus character experience. We talked about the modes of transportation. 675 shops and eateries. 35.3 million quick service meals served every year. And 3 million plus Mickey pretzels served every year. That's a lot of stats. And I think we did a great job celebrating world statistics. This was Walt Disney World Statistics Day. You didn't even know it, but now you know. All right, my friends, let us delay no further. It is time to get into the Walt Disney World news. So put on your swimmies, plug your nose. Let's dive in. That's right, dreamers. We're back with the headlines from Walt Disney World. And I've got a handful of things to update you on today. And I promise we're going to get through this quickly, but we're going to do it in a fun manner. We're going to have a great time doing it, as we always do. We're going to start with great news. I don't think it comes as a surprise, but it's always nice to get the conversation confirmation over in the Magic Kingdom. One of the things that's really fun to do around the holiday season is to experience the Jingle Cruise, and Disney has confirmed that on November 3rd, the Jingle Cruise will return. Here's the announcement. During the holiday season, the beloved Jungle Cruise experience is transformed into the Jingle Cruise, a festive yet familiar adventure from stem to stern. Join the homesick Jungle Cruise skippers as they set out on a holly jolly journey packed with silly shenanigans. The boathouse and beyond are decked out with merry decor that's been mailed to the skippers or that they've created themselves. They're even unwrapping a few holiday jokes to help everyone get in the spirit. The transformation happens overnight, requiring no downtime. One day, the attraction is the Jungle Cruise, and the next day, it's the Jingle Cruise, and that day is going to be November 3rd. So mark your calendar. That's something, it's very popular. People love to do it. It's fun to do, even at night. Like sometimes I think the Jungle Cruise is fun to do at night because it is a different experience, but it's more fun, I think, to do during the day just because you get to see more, and it can be pretty dark. They don't have that ride like totally lit up. So it is a different experience at night. But the Jingle Cruise, it takes on a whole new feeling when you do it at night. So it's always a good time to do that. Check it out. I'm looking forward to it. And I'll have to sneak in there before middle of November because that's my renewal date. We already talked about this. Okay. So that's Magic Kingdom. Let's go over to Hollywood Studios. And we did get confirmation this last week that the new Monsters, Inc. land at Hollywood Studios will be named Monstropolis. So a big surprise. I think we all sort of, I don't know. I just feel like that's not, I feel like we assumed that it was going to be Monstropolis. According to Blog Mickey, following some speculation, we've learned that the new Monsters, Inc. themed land coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios will in fact be called Monstropolis. The confirmation comes from Walt Disney World, as they are and have been using the Monstropolis naming in not only the new Walt Disney Imagineering display at Hollywood Studios, but in some press materials. I mean, when you saw the concept art, to me it looked like that's the whole idea. They're sort of immersing you in Monsters, Inc., in the Monsters, Inc. world, which would mean you're in Monstropolis. So I guess maybe this is one of those things we all just sort of knew, but now it's just like, well, for sure, that's what it is. Okay. The sky is blue as well. Now, this is also some news that maybe doesn't come as like a huge surprise, because we had been talking about this previously, that it was a possibility that it may happen. I think the first time we reported this was that Disneyland Paris was changing Remy's Ratatouille Adventure over to a 2D experience. And we thought, that's very interesting, and maybe that's something that's going to be happening to Epcot as well. Well, guess what? Remy's Ratatouille Adventure is switching to 2D at Epcot with new props coming to the queue and attraction. The announcement is as follows. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure will experience a short downtime November 10th through the 13th of 2025 and will return with enhanced digital visuals and clearer imagery projected in 2D. Remy's fans will spot new props and lighting enhancements when they are added to the queue and attraction over the next few months. So it sounds like this is sort of like a phased upgrade. The first thing they're going to do is just change the film over, so it won't be 3D. You don't have to wear the glasses anymore. And then, and that'll happen in a few days. It'll just be closed for a few days, and then boom, back up November 14th, I guess. And then over time, over a few months, they're going to be adding lighting enhancements. They'll be adding some props to make it, make things pop a little bit more and make you feel a lot more immersed once you're in the ride and in the queue as well, which is great because that ride does rely heavily on screens. So to get some more props inside will be really, really good. And that's great. I mean, I think that 3D rides are fun as a general statement. I don't like it when they're overdone, or like, if I feel like a park over relies on screen rides or 3D rides, it sort of wears out the novelty. Like one or two here and there are okay. So I think this is a good change. And also, I mean, that ride's just based on its physical footprint. It's not like they could just make it a ride where it didn't rely on screens to get the full effect of the story and everything. But I think it's good too, because I know that 3D glasses can be a problem for people who wear glasses themselves, because you don't know, do you put the 3D glasses over your glasses? I think people do that. And sometimes 3D rides can make people feel motion sick. So if this makes this more accessible to more people, great. And, another change that was made not that long ago is they added the single rider line to Remy's Ratatouille Adventure in France in Epcot. So, a couple nice changes. And if it's a ride that, you may have ridden in the past and you're like, yeah, it was cute, but I don't know that it's something I need to do. Maybe this is something that pulls you back in. And if you can save a little time in that single rider line, then great. Good. It's good news all around. I don't really see a problem with this. I mean, are you a person who that this is, if I told you we're taking 3D away from the ride, we're changing it to 2D, that would make you feel disappointed? I think in this ride, no. Personally, that's just me. There may be some other rides where, like, I guess a great example would be Flight of Passage. You wouldn't want that to be 2D. That needs to be a 3D experience. The goggles and everything are part of the immersion. What would be another really good example? Well, you wouldn't want a 3D show, like Mickey's PhilharMagic, something like that. Those need to be 3D. What other? What about Midway Mania, Toy Story Mania, I guess they call it now. What would you think if they made that 2D? I think that one probably needs to stay 3D. I think, because it does like the depth that it adds to the scenes where you're doing the target practice and all the various forms. I think that's probably a good thing. So yeah, I mean, but anyway, I think in this case it's good, and we'll see. I'd love to be able to try it after the changeover and just see how it goes and what my thoughts are. Will I? I don't know. All right, the last piece of information, and this is broadly across all of Walt Disney World. If you've been in the parks recently, you may have noticed that some of the kiosks, some of the carts are going cashless, and this is proliferating across the Walt Disney World theme parks. Walt Disney World expands cashless locations and advises guests to purchase gift cards. So recently, Walt Disney World has expanded the number of locations that are cashless around the parks. The locations are typically outdoor vendors where guests would purchase soda or ice cream. Many of the carts and kiosks that guests encounter will now be cashless as part of an early October property-wide change. Cast members that they spoke to, this is a Blog Mickey article, said that dozens of outdoor vending locations at Disney's Animal Kingdom, of all of those, only one is still taking cash. All the rest are cashless. Same story at the other parks. So I think the big thing here is that, I mean, speaking for myself, I rarely ever carry cash anymore. It's when I have it, it feels like magical. I'm like, oh, what do I do with the cash? It just feels like it's very, very special. And it kind of feels like fake money because it's like, or money that is just like bonus money, which it's not, but that's what it kind of feels like to me because I track all my purchases through like Google Pay or my credit cards or whatever it is. So when I have cash that's like quote unquote off the books, oh, you watch out. I could be a wild man with that cash. I guess there are still people who still use cash. I think maybe like international travelers like bring over cash or traveler's checks or whatever it may be. But I really don't, for me, this isn't like a problem because I tend to pay cashless 99.9% of the time anyway. But I could see that, some people this being a problem. But you can go and exchange your cash for the Disney gift cards. But then I guess one complaint that someone might have for that would be that, well, okay, then I go get a cash or a gift card for $100, but if I don't spend that $100, now it's just locked up on a gift card. So that kind of stinks. But maybe what I would suggest doing is just because you can recharge your gift cards. So maybe you get the gift card for less than you think that you might spend, so you don't put too much cash on it if that's the route you have to go. I really like using Tap to Pay. I like using my Google Pay. I'm a Google kid. So, that's me, but I also understand it's not great for everybody, but it's something to be prepared for. So if you are a cash person, you're going to be going to the parks in the near future, just make sure you understand that your money is no good here unless it's digital. They'll look at your cash and then look at you like you're from the 1950s and be like, oh, well, hey there, time traveler. I guess you're also in Frontierland in this scenario, which is funny because you can only pay with digital methods in Frontierland. They should, if they really want to do immersion, we need to go back bring back colonial money or something and for Liberty Square. And maybe in Frontierland you have to barter, or you have to have a trade. I hope you bring in a couple bags of sheep's wool so you can change it out for a pair of, a cowboy hat in Frontierland. That's what I think. What do you think? I think it's fine. But I also, like I said, I get it if it's not fine for everybody. All right, folks, that is the news from Walt Disney World this week. Thank you so much for joining me once again. I appreciate it. Now, building on the announcement that we made last week, I do want to remind you all we are heading towards the final episode of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. That's right. Today's episode 273. Our final episode's 276, and that will be released on Monday, November the 10th. 10th. So if you are interested in sending your well wishes our way, or you want to record a message, Probably won't do video for that episode, but we would love it if you would do that. If you want to do that, of course, no obligation, but if you'd like to, we'd love it. So you can email any of your well wishes or audio, text, whatever it may be, to mondaymorningmonorail@gmail.com. I would love to get those at least, a few days ahead of time. So my preference would be Friday, the 7th of November, if you could get them to us by then. That way we can get everything compiled and cleaned up and be ready to go. That would be great. But, and again, if you don't really feel like sending anything, that's okay too. We just really appreciate that you've been here with us for the ride. Right now, I'm thinking I'm going to write some messages. Like I'm going to ahead of time. I'm going to write some sentimental messages to all of you. So I got to think through all that and start working on that project as well. If you know me, if you've been around the monorail for a while, you know that I'm a person that cries at the drop of a hat. So I imagine there may be a few tears on that episode, but I'm going to try my best to keep it together, but no promises. And I'll save all the rest of it for later. But anyways, I appreciate all of you for everything. But if you want to send us anything, mondaymorningmonorail@gmail.com. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for riding along the monorail with me today. It's been a good one. World Statistics Day. Go out and buy your favorite statistician. Buy them an abacus. Or what would be really good? What would be a great gift for a statistician? A pocket protector? Because they're nerds. I think statistics are fun, but I'm not a statistician. I'm just having fun saying statistics and statistician. It's a great time. I suggest you try it. Go around saying it today. Tell everybody World Statistics Day. But the other thing you should do is, if you're out and about, make sure to thank service workers. Times are tough out there, and it's even harder if you're out working in the service industry. So thank them. If you're in the parks, thank Universal specifically. Thank a team member. If you're at Disney, thank cast members. If you're just out in the world interacting with people, be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.